Hey everybody, how's it going? I am Dan Murrell here with my review of Countdown, the obligatory new scary movie hitting theaters the weekend before Halloween, because nobody wants to go to the movies during Halloween weekend. Here we are, folks. It's called Countdown. It's about an app on your phone. If you download it, it's going to tell you when you die, supposedly. And guess what happens when the clock hits 0? That's right. You die. If it sounds a lot like Final Destination, it is. It's actually a lot like Final Destination, and it's a lot like a lot of other horror movies, and I think that was my biggest issue with this film. The idea of a killer app is maybe not the most original thing in the world. We just saw another evil app movie in comedy form come out with Jexy, which is also not a movie that I particularly enjoyed. But it's not just about the concept of the premise. You can make a tired premise work if you have something original inside of it, and I think that's where this movie struggled the most. A Countdown follows the story of a young nurse who's trying to save not only her life, but the life of her younger sister and her friends as she races to beat the clock and beat death. But it's not just the app that's thrown into this. The idea of an app that counts down to your death and you trying to beat the clock, I think you could do something with that concept. However, inside of that, they also stuff a story about demonic possession. Inside of that, there's also this sort of Final Destination cheating death-esque angle. You kind of have a monster sometimes, and sometimes you don't. It feels like a Mad Libs for what a horror movie can be. And that's what makes it completely and utterly, for me, forgettable. The fact of the matter is that Countdown is just like any other number of horror movies that you've seen before, any other number of times. The same cheap jump scares, the same spooky sequences of somebody walking down a hallway and asking who's there, looking slowly at doorways, looking at where the jump is supposed to come from, and then the jump coming from where it's not supposed to. But because you've seen so many of these movies, you know where it's going to come from. If you like horror movies, if you're just looking for any new scary movie to go see over or near the Halloween weekend or holiday, then I guess you might want to check this out. But it is a PG-13 horror film, so it doesn't even really have the hardcore gore that the gorehounds may crave. It's pretty tame as far as horror movies go. And I think the idea of a Countdown app could have had something original tied to it. But the fact that they really chose to go just the most basic route imaginable, a generic monster stalking, a generic group of teenagers in a very generic setup, there's just really nothing new to offer here, nothing new to give you for this Halloween. So my advice would be, find a great horror movie, find an original one, or maybe a classic, one that you enjoy, watch that one instead, and let the clock run out on Countdown. That's my review of Countdown, which, as I mentioned, is hitting theaters this weekend. Stay tuned here on Fandom Entertainment. I've got a lot more reviews coming up, including for some Oscar contenders, which I don't think this movie is going to be, and a lot more. Until next time, thanks for watching.